All right, it is the 26th, and we are coming up on the last week of the month, guys. So congratulations on what you've accomplished so far, but I don't want you guys taking your foot off the gas just yet. So we still have plenty of time left in this month, and I know Stephanie went live on our team page yesterday talking about how it's not too early to start setting goals for November. She's absolutely right about that, but it is also not too it's not too late to count this month out. So we need to make sure that we keep our eyes on the end of the month, come out on fire. I know Brad's going to talk about that a little bit tonight, so I'm not going to go on that touch on it for too long. But I did just get the Diamond Insider email, so I want to pass on a couple different things. As you guys know, Core de Force is launching in less than a week. This is a really great opportunity to take our businesses to another level. And if you guys are not excited about this program being launched, there is something seriously wrong with you, because this is going to be this brings me back to Beachbody a couple years ago, the intensity, which a lot of people love. And I'm really, really freaking pumped about it. So make sure you're talking about it every single day. Find ways. We have that info group going right now. You can get people added in there. I literally have sat down, and I posted it in our team page today. I sat down and I made a informational packet for people that actually buy it. So they have everything that they're going to need so they can get it launched quickly. We're also going to have I have a form right now where people are literally logging on and filling it out and giving me their shake flavor, telling me they want to be a discount coach, and giving me their email and saying send this to me immediately. So that's how excited people are getting about this. So I already have 6 people ready to go. They're getting the form the moment it releases. Challenge packs go on sale October 31st. We cannot get the program until November 1st as by itself. One thing I do want to say, I wrote it down, I want to encourage you guys to buy the DVDs, and I want you to encourage your customers to buy the DVDs. There is an option out there now where you can just get the online on-demand challenge pack. It's a great idea, but if they ever cancel Beachbody On Demand, their program goes with it. So we really want to make sure that they are getting those DVDs. Plus, it'll be a good volume boost for all of you guys too, if everybody's getting the DVDs in your downline too, instead of just getting the on-demand. On-demand's great, but they still get the 30 days anyway, so you might as well just sign them up for the DVDs so they have the extra containers and everything like that. And if you're anything like me and you're dreading the fact about getting another shaker and containers in the mail, use them as challenge pack or challenge group prizes. I do that every single time. I have an unbelievable amount of containers. I literally just got 2 yoga mats in the mail. I'm sitting here going, what the heck am I going to do with all this stuff? But it's great. It's great prizes. Next thing, Team Spirit Month. Okay. So I went live on our team page today. I think this would be super freaking cool. And what do you guys think about it? About every single person that we help in the month of November, we do a canned food drive. And we donate to local food banks and different things like that. Every Success Club point is now going to be dedicated towards something like change. And that can be whether it's just a can, and you guys can just get your little box together, and it'll be a fun little team food drive. Plus, Team Spirit is going to be a chance for us to really propel our businesses and get ourselves ready for 2017. I think that this is a great way to help people, not just in the health and fitness side of things, but people who really need some help around the holidays. And I really hope that you guys are on board with this. So if you are not signed up for Team Spirit, there is a link in our team page. Please go sign up for that. The name is Kelsey Smith. Team Simply Beautiful is the team name. There's 27 of us, I think, enrolled now underneath of that. So that's great. But we have 76 people in that group. So I want to make sure that everybody is involved in that, and you have a chance for potential prizes and stuff like that. Let's see here. Core de Force apparel is going on sale November 3rd. I posted a video yesterday about all the changes coming onto Beachbody On Demand. I highly recommend that you guys watch that. I'm not going to get into that tonight. New Country Heat workouts will be released on Beachbody On Demand as of November 1st. If you have Country Heat, you get 2 extra bonus workouts that Autumn has created exclusively for people on demand. So those will be released to you also. Plus, new 21-day fix workouts, 2 of them are going to be available on December 1st on Beachbody On Demand. So that's going to be super exciting for us too. Health Bet is coming back on January 9th. So that's exciting. The Health Bet got so many of us riled up. Our challenge groups were rocking. Everybody had really high Success Club points that month. So I really think that just start thinking about that stuff now, because the Health Bet is coming back, and that is awesome. Okay. Holiday sales coming up on November 21st through 29th. That is whenever they get rid of all the programs that they aren't really selling much anymore. So you'll get more yoga mats. You'll get like Insanity Max. You'll get Insanity agility ladders and stuff like that. But there's also a ridiculous amount of awesome programs on there that your customers can get at discounts. So have that on your radar. And I know I'm talking really fast. I just want Brad to get this. So promos for November. Drum roll. Ready? 21-Day Fix and 21-Day Fix Extreme are staying on promo for $140. Country Heat will be $140. And Core de Force will also be $140. Everything else is going back to its original price. So this was the last. You have a couple more days to sell your 22-minute hardcores, your Kaios, your 3-day refreshes, all that stuff. So 21-Day Fix Extreme, Country Heat, and Core de Force. And anybody that buys a program with Shakeology is going to get an insulated little tote. Isn't that adorable? So it's just an extra little bonus. So make sure that you guys have that written down. Okay, and let's see here. I think that's all that I had. But yeah, make sure that you guys are staying engaged in the team page over the next couple of days, because there's a lot of exciting stuff happening in our company right now. And you guys should be really excited about it. But Core de Force is our #1 priority, as well as Team Spirit right now. So get ready to be spirited. I'll be adding you guys all to an exclusive Facebook page for those of you that are taking part in that. So there is a lot of people on here tonight. That's freaking awesome. Okay, so let me introduce Brad. Okay, so many of you guys, if you're in my team, you've noticed that I have talked about him today. Like, I was like, oh my God, you guys, we have to go to this call. It's going to be great. Because, Brad, I don't know if you know this or not, but 30 months ago, that sounds like forever ago, my coach, Natalie Bailey, reached out to me, and she was talking to me about the coaching opportunity. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I had all the excuses in the book. And she comes back and she goes, well, at least get on this call. Just listen to what this person has to say, and then you can make up your mind after that. So I got on Elizabeth Harkey's call that night, and you were the guest speaker, Brad. And I got off that call, and I immediately texted Natalie, and I was like, okay, what is this thing? Like, let's talk a little more about it. So I am super excited because, like, now you're talking on my call after me being someone that didn't even know about this coaching opportunity and what this whole thing was about. So I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited. I know that my team is ready to hear from you. And I'm sorry, but there is literally 0 men on this call except you. We are a full team of women. But I know that Brad has a great message for us. So Brad is a 6-star combined coach, 2015 premier coach, meaning that his team was a 2-star diamond team that had all those elite points we were talking about before, and they made something really big happen last year. He's a Success Club 10 legend, meaning he hit Success Club at least 24 months. So he's actually going on 41 months now. 41 months in Success Club, guys. Think about the impact and how many lives that is. Okay, he almost is like a legend ×2. Like, that's freaking cool. I was like thinking about that. I was like, ooh, that's kind of cool. I should write that down. And he is officially a full-time coach too. So he left the corporate world to do this full-time. And I actually don't even know what he's going to talk about tonight. I just know that I wanted him to come on here to inspire you guys going into the end of this year. And I know that he's not going to fall short of that. So go ahead and take it away. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you.
Woohoo! I'm excited to be here. And Kelsey, I had no idea that that's like how you got started with this. That was like, I kind of got a little choked up thinking about it. Like, that's pretty cool. I had no idea. So seriously, that's awesome. And I'm actually completely unprepared tonight. No, I'm just kidding. I know what I'm going to talk about. But I'm excited for you guys. And really, I applaud you guys on your commitment to continuous learning, right? That's one of my favorite things about successful people is that they don't see learning as a chore, right? They see it as a privilege to learn and to grow. And it's so cool to be here with you guys. Some of you guys I know, hung out with on the cruise, right? Kelsey hanging out with you on the cruise. That was a great time. And some of you guys I've never had the privilege of meeting yet, but I really hope I get to come springtime in Punta Cana, Teal Wave, by the way. Anyways, so my goal tonight is not to just, I actually want to talk about goal setting. Okay, and I don't want to talk about it in the boring-ass way that most people talk about goal setting. I want to talk about it in a completely different way. I want to get down to the psychology of why the hell, can I swear on this call, by the way? Is that okay? Tell me if it's not. Just type in the chat box if you want me to shut up. But kind of got a potty mouth sometimes. But my goal tonight is not to just talk about goal setting. It's to get to the psychology behind why the hell we do or don't do what we need to do. And we're going to take massive action to get to those goals. And I'll give you something to beat procrastination whenever it shows up, and how to truly master your emotions when it comes to thinking about different situations in your business and overall in your life. And so think about this for a second. Like, tonight's call isn't just going to be about Beachbody. It's going to be about life, and you'll be able to apply it. And so this is not stuff that I developed or created. This is stuff that I have learned through experts, different personal development experts. And this will show you how diving into that vital behavior of personal development makes or breaks the difference in not only your business, but your quality of life. It is the most important thing for advancement in your business. And if you guys are watching the Cubs right now, or if you're an Indians fan, please, please, please take a second, go in the other room. I promise you that if this gives you something that will create freedom in your life in some way, I guarantee you that you'll be able to go back and watch the replay and the series isn't decided tonight. Is that cool? So I'm a Cubs fan, right? I'm from Chicago. So I'm missing out on it too. Our team calls in about 45 minutes, but I promise it will be valuable and it won't be a waste of your time. This is going to show you how diving into that vital behavior is super, super important. And this is what took my business from what was perceived as really, really successful and was actually just me hiding behind my ego and trying to be really cool, to actually having a growing business. And something that's completely changed my quality of life. So if you're dissatisfied in your business in any way right now, I want you to get really freaking excited, because dissatisfaction is a gem. And there are going to be some nuggets you can take away. Don't focus on writing down every single nugget. Just write down the ones that hit you, and we'll take action on those things. So I want to ask you guys, what is your biggest goal with Beachbody coaching? And I want you to type in the chat box right now. What is your biggest goal with Beachbody coaching that you have? What do you need to happen out of this business? What do you want? Leave your full-time job, Ashton. That's awesome. What else we got? Family, more income. Okay, Stephanie, great. I love that. What else we got? Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Make this your full-time job, Leah. Get out of debt. I love that. Kelsey, that's one of mine too. I love that. Leave full-time job, income-driven, more income, student loans, stay home with a little one. I love that. Awesome, guys. Keep them coming. $500 a month, credit card. That's amazing. Travel. Oh, my gosh, guys, this is fantastic. Like, think about just focusing on that for 1 second. Seeing all those dreams in one spot, doesn't that fire your ass up? Like, it makes you so freaking excited about doing this. Like, I want you guys to focus on that real quick. And if you don't have it written down in front of your computer, like right there, do that tonight after the call and stare at that shit every single day. So let me ask you guys a question. You write all these amazing things out. Why is it that people don't achieve what they want? You ever thought about that? Like, have you ever thought about why we don't achieve goals? When people fail to achieve what they want, why is it? It's very, very, very simple. The biggest illusion in life that you can give yourself, that people have, is that we're missing the resources to make something happen. Some fear in our mind has convinced us, and this is in relation to coaching, but it can go for any thing in your life, that we don't know enough people, or we don't have the time, or we don't have the money, or we don't have the personality, or we don't have the network, whatever the hell it is. Some fear has convinced us about that. But I promise you, that is not the problem. That's bullshit. The problem is the lack of resourcefulness. And I will prove it to you right now. Let's use the example of the most basic minimum thing that we do as coaches to make sure that our business is on track to succeeding. And that is Success Club, right? That is the minimum expectation to make sure you are doing your job as a coach. It's the one metric that you have to show that you're on the right path, right? So let's use that as the example, the most basic, fundamental thing that we do every single month. And it's an indicator of success, but we always hear, I don't have time for more conversations, or I don't know enough people, and whatever it is, or saying all these things about why you can't have those things, why you can't hit Success Club. People say that all the time, right? And I'll let you have that illusion for 1 second, but now I want you to picture the person that you love the most in your life. Picture them for a second, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your baby. If you're not with anyone, maybe it's your best friend or your pet, right? Who do you love the most in your life and why? What about them makes you so freaking happy? Really think about it. Think about all your experiences with them. Think about all of it. I want you to imagine for 1 second that you found out that they had 10 to 15 years to live, and that's it. 10 to 15 years, and they're gone. You can't leave your job because you have to pay for their medical treatments for the next 10 to 15 years. So you don't get time with them. But you also see these coaches that have worked their ass off in their business for a couple of years and created financial freedom to the point where they can stay home and have that time. And you know that if you take this seriously and you find a way to get it done, you can have the rest of that time unlimited with them. Think about that for a second. If your spouse had that terminal illness, all of a sudden, how resourceful would you be? How hard would Success Club really be? Be pretty freaking easy, right? What about Success Club 10? It would be incredibly easy. And the reason is because you have a purpose behind it. Guys, when your purpose is deep enough, taking action becomes second nature and you just do. You find a way. You don't wait for that magical lightning bolt of motivation to strike you in the ass. By the way, that is never coming because motivation is created by action. It's not going to come and happen. Motivation is the byproduct of you doing something because you have a purpose. When your purpose is deep enough, taking action becomes second nature and you just do. You find a way. We all get what we have to have. And it's because you're resourceful. I always use this metaphor when I'm speaking on calls about your purpose being like a compass, right? And you're out there and you're in the middle of the ocean on your boat, right? This is the metaphor. And your purpose is your compass. It's your guide on where you're going, right? And when the storm of life comes, which, guys, I promise you, it always will. The storm of life, the shit that happens, it gets in the way, that's going to keep on coming, and it's going to keep on coming. And there's always going to be a new storm that comes. When the storm of life comes and there's 50-foot waves in every single direction and there's clouds blocking the sky and you can't navigate by the stars, you still have your compass, and you're further along in that journey. And meanwhile, like when that storm subsides, which all the shit you're going through, when that storm subsides, which it always will, you're further along, because you knew how to steer your ship. And everyone else is either crashing against the rocks or scrambling in a panic trying to figure out where the heck they are, right? So when your purpose is deep enough, taking action becomes second nature. And I just proved to you right there that the biggest illusion you have in life is that you're missing the resources to make something happen. But no, the real issue is not having enough reasons. It's the lack of resourcefulness. If you are not where you need to be, it's because you don't have enough reasons to do it. If I told you that your kid or your best friend was going to die if you didn't come up with $50,000 by tomorrow to pay for a prescription for whatever the hell illness they have, you would find a way to find $50,000, especially if it was your kid, right, or your spouse, whatever it was. Think about that. You would find a way because you have a reason. It's never that you're missing the resources. It's that you're missing the reasons. So how you get these resources is very simple. It's human emotion. That's it. Emotion is the driver of finding resources. What's the way that you're facing the problem that you have in your business or in your life, right? Are you frustrated or overwhelmed or bored, right? Are you looking at it as something you don't have, or are you really determined and passionate and excited? How are you facing the problem that you have? Right? Because I guarantee you, if you're frustrated or overwhelmed or bored or focused on what you don't have or pissed off or overwhelmed, you're going to take completely different action than if you're determined and passionate and really on fire and excited, thinking about all those goals that you wrote in the side chat bar there, right? So if you get out of your own head and think about it, if you're emotional about something coming true, your emotion is going to drive your resourcefulness and lead to different decisions that you make in your life. Every single thing, every outcome in your life is driven by your choices, literally. Every action you take, whether it's sitting on a couch right now versus a chair, whether it's watching the Cubs game or paying attention, whatever it is fathered or mothered by a decision in your mind. If you wonder why the hell your life is the way it is right now, take a good hard look over the last 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It is going to give you a damn good indicator of why you are exactly where you are right now. Right? I look at my business the first 2 years when I hit Success Club, but I didn't lead, right? And I didn't really care about my team. I cared about me, and that was it. My ego drove my decisions, and my team didn't grow. But then I look at the other decision that I switch, a different decision, to truly caring about my teammates and loving them and supporting them. And all of a sudden my business grew. That came from a decision. I look at my decision to not invite, and it led me to barely scraping by. And then I look at my decision to invite every single day, 10, 15, 20 people every single day, and my business grew. On the other side of it, like when a personal example, I look at my decision to break up with Janice back in college, right? And I was unfulfilled and stressed out and just not happy. And then I look at the decision to get back together with her, to become engaged and planning a wedding together. And I'm happy and fulfilled and passionate and excited every single day. Those are different decisions that I made. Your decisions in your business and your life, like your decisions are indicators of where you are in life. And sure, you could say, but this happened to me, right? I'm sure there's shit that's happened in your life that wasn't fair. Maybe your boss makes you stay late. Maybe you got 15 kids and they all have soccer practice. Maybe you, whatever it is, even something as extreme as a death in the family. And that's very unfortunate if that did happen, right? And I'm genuinely from the bottom of my heart, sorry if that did happen. But my question to you is, even though those things weren't fair and not your fault, my question is, I guess before the question, think about this. Everybody has great times in their life and everybody's got shit. Everyone's got great times and everyone's got shit. I got shit, right? Think about it. In those hard times, what was the decision that you chose to make on how you would respond? Did you let it completely control you and dictate you as a person? Or did you decide to do something about it instead? And so in any second, there are 3 decisions that you can make in any situation, any circumstance in life to change the outcome of whatever you want. And I'll go through them briefly, really quick, and then I'll go through them throughout the rest of the call. So number 1 is, what are you going to focus on, right? Where is your focus right now? If you're focused on fear, that's going to become very, very real. If you focus on what you don't have, you'll have less. And what I mean by that is, if you're focused on how you don't know enough people, no shit, you're not in Success Club. If you're focused on how can I go and find more people to help, all of a sudden you'll find a way to be in Success Club. If you're focused on why your team is not performing, what are they doing wrong? Why aren't they getting it? Of course they're not going to perform. But if you focus on what can I do to love my team and care about them and pour myself into them, then of course they're going to grow. Right? If you focus on what you want instead of what you don't want, your brain can't tell the difference between a vivid desire and reality, and it will find a way to be resourceful. A lot of people focus on what they can't control, like things like other people's actions. If a coach quits, if someone says no, and they let that control their life, right? They place so much attachment on an outcome, not on their character. And that's wrong, guys. That's going to lead you to stress, right? If you focus on what you can control, your decisions, your thoughts, the meaning that you give to every situation, you can be happy because you're not placing your happiness based on the outcome of a goal. You're basing your happiness on your character. And you can choose to live life in a beautiful state no matter what happens to you with a change in focus. So whatever you focus on, you're going to feel, regardless of if it's true or not. Focus equals reality to the individual, even if it's not reality in actuality. Second decision, what does this mean, right? What does this mean to me? And we'll cover more on this towards the end of the call. But in general, is this situation, is this feeling painful, or is it awesome? Is struggling as a leader a horrible thing, or is it an amazing gift that's going to teach you to become an amazing leader, right? Whatever meaning that you choose to associate with an experience becomes reality. And we'll talk more on that in a minute. Number 3, what am I going to do about this, right? When you think about those first 2 questions, it changes what you're going to do, right? If you're disappointed or angry or sad or frustrated or upset or lazy, you're going to act completely different than if you're grateful and happy and excited, right? Like, how would the outcome change if you focus on what you want instead of what you don't want? If you're worried or overwhelmed, aren't you going to act completely different than if you're crazily, passionately determined, right? Totally different outcome. The meaning you choose to associate with every situation determines the action that you take. And how you get good at this is you practice. Guys, it's not going to be easy to change this. Your brain is wired a certain way. If you've been writing, like changing these thoughts, like you have a pattern that you're going back to with your emotions right now. If you've been writing with your right hand your entire life up until this age, right? I'm 27. Let's say I've been writing with my right hand until I was 27 years old, and someone came along and said, you'd make $1 million and be the happiest, healthiest, most amazing person in the world if you chose to write with your left hand every single day. And I started writing with my left hand, and it was scribbly, and I couldn't figure out how to write it. I'd think, oh my gosh, it's so much easier to go to write with my right hand, right? And you just go back to that old pattern. But you have to practice writing with your left hand on a regular basis. You have to condition your mind to change how you feel. Every situation in your life can be a powerful thing with practice. All of a sudden, not knowing enough people can mean there's an amazing gift for you to go meet more people. All of a sudden, being dead broke can mean there's an opportunity to go learn the mindset of financially abundant people. Right? All of a sudden, being at a job that you dread every single day can mean that you're helping your company succeed. Or being at a job that you dread every single day can mean that you know what not to do in your leadership of your team. I'll give you a personal example. I used to blame my mom so much for so much of the circumstance in my life. Until just recently, I blamed her for like just 3 really distinct situations, and so much more than this, but these are the big ones. I felt so inadequate and just talked down to as a child. I remember every single day I would walk in from school, get off the bus, walk in, turn right or left, or I don't know if this is right or left for you, but I'd turn right, I'd go down the hallway, and I'd see her at the computer just smoking on a cigarette, playing her Bejeweled game on the computer and telling me to shut the fuck up and go to my room every day. And that's how my parents treated me growing up. Sorry for the language, but that was it. That was the truth, right? And not my parents, my mom. Right. And I would see this every single day, and I just felt so worthless. I craved my mother's love so much, but I never got it. And then I look at the debt that I'm in. And my grandmother was kind enough to save $50,000 for me before I went to college. And I'm not saying I'm entitled to that in any way, but when I got to school, it was gone, completely gone, stolen from that account, right? From my mom. And then I also look at the way that my dad worked every single day growing up, right? Slaving away 80, 90, 100 hours a week, and never having anything to show. And I learned that hard work leads to just boring, right? And then I look at, with my mom, the relationship she had with my dad and the screaming matches they had, fighting and literally pouring soap on my mom's neck. I remember just a very vivid image of that growing up, and just yelling and screaming and swearing and just right in front of the kids when we were little. And I associated in my mind that marriage led to an incredible amount of pain. And it took me so long to propose to Janice because of this. So why do I tell you this, and how does it relate to Beachbody? Well, that happened until I was 26 years old. I blame my mom for all of those things. But right now I'm 27 and I have an awesome relationship with her. How could that happen after 26 years of pain? The reason is because I changed the meaning that I associate with the situations. Because guys, if my mom wasn't that raging, crazy person growing up, I wouldn't have this hunger to be the happiest person I can possibly be. If my mom didn't take that money, I wouldn't have this fire under my ass to create abundance in my life. If my mom didn't give me this horrible example of what to do in a relationship, I wouldn't be half as good of a spouse as I am to her, right? All I did was change the meaning of it. Guys, you might have things in your life that you're blaming, people that you're blaming, situations that you're blaming, and those stories might be true, but don't ever freaking discredit the good shit that came from it. You might blame them for the bad shit that happened in your life, and that's okay, because those stories might be very, very real. But if you're gonna blame them for the shit, you better blame them for the good stuff too, because without my mom, I wouldn't be who I am right now. And I'm so incredibly grateful for those situations. So every single day, I condition my mind to focus on what I am grateful for. I do an exercise called priming. And it's if you go to tonyrobbins.com/momentum, tonyrobbins.com/momentum, and you go to the bottom of the screen, there's a 14-minute audio file. I close my eyes and I do that every single day before I invite and before I do my business. And if you do this, you will change the way that you come across to people, the way you post, the way you share everything, because it helps you focus on what you're grateful for and what you want in your life. And so every single day I condition my mind to do that every day. Think about this. If you wake up and you're running late for work and your spouse is already out the door, they didn't give you a kiss goodbye, and you bang your toe on the nightstand or your head on the nightstand, and your dog shits on the carpet, and you're late for work and you have to stay late, and your boss yells at you and you don't get home to see your kids, and your wife's already asleep, your husband's already asleep, and you just go to bed pissed off. That's a pretty bad day. Would you guys agree that's a bad day in most people's lives? What if the first thing that you focus on when you woke up is, you know what? Holy shit, I'm just so incredibly grateful that I have a job, that I have the ability to earn an income when most people in this world live on $900 a year. I'm just so glad to have food in my fridge when there are mothers out there that don't know how they're going to give their kids water this week, right? I am just so incredibly grateful to have this little puppy that makes me laugh and smile all the time, even though they're a massive pain in the ass, right? Like, think about that. Even if that stuff still happened, wouldn't my entire day change if I focus on what I was grateful for first, right? How would my happiness change? How would your happiness change? And when you get done with that, focus on what you want to happen in your life, the goals that you have, being grateful for them coming true. Think about it. If I focus on how I don't know enough people to invite, or I'm tired today, or I don't have the time in my day to do this, how would my day be different if I focused on, Alicia says, making $500 a month and paying off your credit card, being able to travel, earning 6 figures by 25, right? Whatever it is, staying home with your little ones, paying off debt. And you're so incredibly passionate because you're focusing on the result you want instead of what you don't have. How does your day change when you focus on where you're going instead of what you lack? Like, are you worried or are you pumped up? Your view of life, guys, literally determines your future. So every single day, condition your mind to focus on being grateful and on what you want. And all of a sudden, that anxiety, that overwhelm, that depression, that fear, it's going to go away because you're not focused on it anymore. You're going to become excited about every single day. If you're stressed out in your life, guys, understand that stress is literally just a code word for fear. That is what stress is. It comes from associating the meaning that something's more important than it really is. If you're stressed out about something in your life right now, ask yourself this. When you're 85, sitting in your rocking chair, looking back at your life, is this situation that's stressing you out really going to matter? Stress comes from associating the meaning that something's more important than it really is. Most people major in minor things. Don't be most people, and train your mind like you train your bicep or you train with core de force or whatever it is. Train your mind in the same way. Condition yourself to be your best. The quality of your emotions, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your emotions on a day-to-day basis. Because in any moment in time, guys, you can be upset about anything because what's wrong is always available to you. But so is what's right. So push against those problems instead of giving into them. Guys, the only people that don't have problems are dead. They're in cemeteries. They don't have a life. If you don't have problems, you don't have a life. Problems are literally the resistance that you push against to sculpt your character. That's what a problem is. So take this and make the primary emotions of life the ones you actually want because you literally control it. And when you view your life as amazing, it doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you, and they give it back and they give it to others. Think about this. If something from me feeling amazing right now triggered something within you and inspired you in some way, and you go out there and you share something with the world that makes their life better, people give it back. When you view your life as extraordinary, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody. And people give it back to you also. So I want to go into something to help us take action on our goals. How many of us have procrastinated? Anybody procrastinated? Who's guilty of that? I am too. And what we're going to do with this is after the call, I want you guys to write down 3 action steps that you absolutely must take that you've been either avoiding or you know you need to do more of. And you're going to write down those 3 action steps after this call, and you're going to apply the exercise that we're going to go through in a minute. So this is a decision right now. We're cutting off all ties. We're deciding. It's not I know I need to because we all know that's BS. It's not I'm going to try because we all know that's BS. It's not I should because we all know that's BS. It's an I must. Deciding with no backup plan that this is what you're going to do. And the next is a big piece. It's about pain versus pleasure. And going through this exercise and actually really diving in And writing this down can make or break the action that you take, and it will give you an honest look at how some of the decisions we make are actually kind of silly. So we know our big goal. We wrote it in the chat box right here that we need to achieve, right? And we're going to figure out those 3 action steps that we've been procrastinating on or that we need to do more of, that we absolutely must take. They're the way to get to our dreams. But oftentimes there's that mental roadblock, right? We know what we need to do, but we end up on the couch. Who's guilty of that one? I am, right? We know, and guys, this is so much easier to teach than it is to do. So it still takes hard work and application, right? We know that our computer is sitting right up there upstairs, and we know how important it is, but we're still watching New Girl, right? And that's what's happening, right? How many guys have done that? Or we know how important it is to invite on a daily basis, and it's the most important thing we can do, but we avoid it, right? Or we know that we absolutely must find time for personal growth, but sometimes we perceive it as not important as a new coach sometimes, right? Or we know that being a product of the product doesn't just benefit your life, but it gives you credibility and validity in this business, but we slack there too. So why is that? Like, guys, it has to do with pain and pleasure. I promise you this. As human beings, all of our decisions are driven by our thoughts and our need to either avoid pain or gain pleasure. And how we associate pain versus pleasure in every single situation can make a huge impact here. Okay, so like procrastination. Why do we do it? Why do we procrastinate? We procrastinate, it's very simple. We procrastinate because we believe that taking action would be more painful than doing nothing. And we experience less pain by doing nothing. That's it. That's literally procrastination, right? And so our brains will literally fight us to avoid pain, right? They'll avoid pain at all costs. If there's ever a decision about an action, we choose the lesser of the 2 pains, because our brains, guys, are not wired to be happy. Your brain is not put together to be happy. Your brain is wired to survive. Think about it. This is 2,000, 3,000 years old. 2,000, 3,000 years ago, you weren't worried about what someone was going to think of you when you invited them to a fitness challenge. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger that was hiding in the bushes that was going to eat you. That's what you had to worry about back then. You were worried about how you were going to find food that day, right? But now we associate the same pain with inviting people on Facebook, right? Think about that. Really put that in perspective for a second. So we're going to avoid the 2 pains. If there's ever a decision about action, we're going to choose the lesser of the 2 pains. So how you get through this is self-awareness. Like we've talked about, our reality is based on what we focus on. So if you focus on the pain long-term from avoiding this, you can literally use pain and pleasure instead of having it control you. And I will show you how right now. We won't do this because of time, but there's a 5-step process that I want to go through with you guys and have you do this 5-step process with each of those 3 actions that you're going to do after this call. And that's your homework coming out of here. Number 1, what is the action that I need to take? Identify it, right? So you already are going to focus on your 3 actions, but that's the first one. What are the actions that I need to take? And identify them. So let's say hypothetically that my action is I need to invite 10 people a day. Let's just say that's what it was, inviting 10 people a day. Number 2, what is the current pain that I associate with taking action on it? That might mean that it takes up time. That might mean that I'm afraid of being rejected. That might mean that I'd rather if people come to me, that I have doubt that I can even be successful at this, that it feels uncomfortable, whatever it is. What pain are you associating with it right now? And write down all of the reasons. Number 3, what is the current pleasure that you get from not following through? You're actually getting something. That might mean the Cubs game, guys. That might mean more time watching Game of Thrones. That might mean more time with my challengers. That might mean more time with my husband or wife. Whatever it is, you're getting something from not taking action. What are you getting? And write all the reasons down. Number 4, this is where you're going to have the eye opener. If you write it out, if it's in your head, this will not work. I promise you. It's not nearly as impactful unless you write it out. Number 4, what will it cost me emotionally 2 years from now if I don't change? What will it cost me emotionally 2 years from now if I don't change? That might mean that you won't achieve 5-star diamond, 10-star diamond, whatever it is. That might mean that you'll find yourself at events wishing you were up there on stage. That might mean that you'll stay in debt longer. That might mean that you'll feel like a failure. You won't have the freedom to travel. You won't be able to give your kids the stress-free lifestyle they deserve. You'll feel stressed or worried or overwhelmed or feel like you're always playing catch up, or your spouse will have to stay at their job longer, or you won't be fulfilling your purpose. Holy shit, guys. That's pretty powerful, right? What's really more painful to you? Taking action on a dream or ending up in the same spot in life? What's really more painful? And then let's add a kicker to that. Number 5, what will I gain emotionally 2 years from now if I take action every single day starting right now? What will I gain emotionally 2 years from now by taking action every single day starting right now? That might mean a life of complete and total freedom, paying off 100% of your debt, being a leader within the Team Beachbody community. Maybe you'll be able to have your dream wedding or honeymoon or trip. Maybe you'll be able to grow into an incredible leader or retire your parents or whatever it is. Think about the gravity of this for a second. What's really more pleasurable? A little bit of TV time, Game 2 of the World Series, or complete and total freedom in your life? What's really more pleasurable for you? What's really more painful? Being scared of what someone might say, or finding yourself 2 years down the road having the same bad day? What's really more painful? Think about the gravity of that. And when you do this exercise, you won't procrastinate, because you're going to realize how silly it is whenever you look at those lists. And you get good at this by continuously practicing. Repetition is the mother of skill. But just know that avoiding this and avoiding action will never magically end, like have you find yourself at that place of fulfillment. Guys, you will never escape your way to having a fulfilling life. You will never escape your way to having a fulfilling life. Action is required. So think about this. Your big goal is literally a couple of decisions away from fulfillment. If it's an absolutely must change in your mind, you'll do it. If it's a should, you're stuck, right? If it's an I'll try, you'll never have it. Go back to that example in the beginning about that terminal illness that we talked about. If you have to spend time with them, if you have to find a way to create that time, you will find a way. Be unreasonable about it, guys. Don't settle for what other people say, right? Not even your spouse. If your spouse doesn't understand this, well, prove them freaking wrong, right? If you agree with most people, you're in trouble. You're in really, really big trouble. Most of the world doesn't have what you want, so don't go their direction. Be ridiculous about it. My grandfather always used to say, yours is the obligation to make yourself stand out from the crowd. Do that and be ridiculous, and don't apologize for that shit. Break away from a culture that tells you to be less than you can really be, because guess what, guys? People are going to try to limit you, but it's literally in your head. If I listened to people in the beginning of their opinion of Beachbody, I would not be traveling 100 days this year. 100 days when I used to have 2 weeks vacation. Don't apologize for being different. I don't say that to impress you. I share that to show you what's possible. Don't apologize for being different. Your vulnerability, your struggle, whatever you've gone through, that is somebody else's freedom. Don't leave that shit trapped in your mouth, or you're doing this world a disservice. Whatever you focus on consistently, you're going to experience. So if you have big dreams of leaving your job or paying off debt, you can have that. You just have to condition your mind to practice associating so much pain to not taking action that you do it. And then you can get out of that life where you're really not that happy yet, but you aren't unhappy enough to do anything about it yet. Guys, all Beachbody is a vehicle. It's a vehicle to get you to your purpose. It should never be your life. It's a vehicle, a tool used to meet your needs, right? And I'll give you guys a little bit of a tip that's made a huge difference in my life. Whatever you want to feel, give it every single day. Whatever you want to feel, give it first every single day. Most people want to feel significant or loved or important. I sure as hell do. And this part of this talk will help you guys with your inviting so much, because it's so overcomplicated in our minds, right? Just imagine how it will make an impact on people. Think about it with your inviting. If you deeply try to make someone feel loved and important and significant when you invite them, even if you don't know them, how great will they feel even if they decide not to move forward with this? It will still be a positive experience, right? Because you're coming from a place of giving and loving instead of taking and grabbing from them, right? Instead of saying like, hey, I'm running a challenge group and figure you might be interested, need 3 people, you interested in this? You want to do this? Why can't it be something like, hey, Kelsey, I was thinking about you today, and it was so fun running into you on the cruise and meeting your then fiance, now husband, and just seeing all the amazing things that you guys did and watching your business grow and all this, and just the culture you've built and the family life that you have. You're just such a nice, caring person, and I really appreciate that about you. I was thinking about this. I know you're working a lot of hours right now at your full-time job. And, I have no idea if this is for you or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I was thinking about you because I think this could add a lot of value to your life. I run groups for people that are really busy to try to help them find health and fitness in their life. No idea if it's for you or not, but have you ever considered doing one of those health and fitness challenges that I talk about on Facebook all the time, right? By the way, how's your dog, right? Like, think about that. Give what you want to feel, and you're going to feel what you gave. Even if you, like, think about this. If you say, hey, I'm running a challenge group and I need 3 people, and they avoid you or they say no, don't you feel pretty shitty, right? You don't feel authentic. You feel like they were a pawn. Guys, guess what? They were a pawn if you do that. But what if you go genuinely care, right? I guarantee you that inviting becomes the most simple thing in the world because you're trying to give. Think about how this has benefited your life in some way. The community, the physical fitness, the health, the blood levels, the community, whatever it is, the income. Think about how this has benefited your life and ask yourself, who could benefit from this? The answer is everybody. Well, if it's that amazing, go share it, guys, and just give. When you remember what this has done for you and you try to give that to people, you're not worried about what to say. You're not worried about coming off salesy. You're not worried about overcomplicating an invite or scripting it out. You're worried about trying to change their life. And that changes your business. There isn't a secret to this, guys. You know the vital behaviors, right? You know to invite, to be proof the products work, to constantly grow yourself, to recognize people for their actions. So instead of asking yourself, what do I need to do? Because you already know, ask yourself, what result do I really want? Focusing on what you need to do just makes you overwhelmed. If you focus on what you want, you'll feel energized. You got to be honest with yourself about where you're at, guys. Honesty is freedom. Nothing is going to get better until you admit that something is off. You have to adjust your beliefs. And so what I'll close with, guys, is the power of emotion and thinking beyond goals, thinking bigger than Beachbody or rank or success club. This is thinking about your life. Our lives are dictated by the emotions that we feel the most often. Even if you don't like that emotion, it's where you live. It's a pattern you go back to. If you leave your house, even if it's messy, you're coming right back to it because it's where you live. If you have negative emotions on a regular basis, that's where you live right now. Beating this is not about denying those negative emotions. Those are very, very real. But it's about using those negative emotions to create positive change. And I'll explain that in a second. So understand that how you feel in any moment in time, in any situation, is from the meaning you have given to the life situation. Your business, your life. It's from the meaning. Example, if a man opens the door for a woman, and she's really, really happy, right? And she's thankful. Why is it? It's not because of the event. It's not because he opened the door. It's because of what she associated him opening the door to me. That's why. Because if he opens it and Kelsey's all pissed off thinking, I don't need you, Brad, I can get it myself. The event never changed. She just changed what she associated with it, right? So whatever you're feeling at any time is never based on the experience, but your interpretation of the experience. It's how you represent it in your mind. Represent literally means represent, how you're telling yourself to react. So if you have a negative emotion about something, don't deny that negative emotion. It's telling you something. Welcome it and learn from it. So I want to give you an example to prove to you what I mean. Close your eyes. Everyone on this call, close your eyes and really do it. And I want you to imagine that goal that you typed in that chat box. And I want you to put yourself in a mental state of just really hoping that it comes true. Like, what do you feel when you hope for it? Keep your eyes closed and really feel it. What do you feel when you hope for it? Like, what emotions come to mind? What crosses your mind? And keep your eyes closed and imagine that same goal. But this time, put yourself in a state of complete and total expectation that is happening right frickin' now. You're going to be able to pay off that debt, Kelsey. You're going to be able to retire your husband. You're going to be able to earn that 6 figures. You're going to be able to come home from that job. You're going to be able to make those things happen. It is happening right now. There is no other way. You have to make it happen, and it is happening in your life. Open your eyes. What's the difference? All you did was change your focus. Hoping is passive. Focus on both possibilities, that it could happen and it might not happen. Expecting, on the other hand, is intent, and it focuses on one possibility. So when you look at those states you were in, you were able to hope it came true, and you were also able to expect it coming true. And both had a different emotion, and all you did was change the meaning and switch your focus. So I just proved to you right there that you literally control how you feel. Nothing changed from the goal. You just changed your focus. So every negative emotion you have in your life has a very positive purpose. It's giving you a signal that something has to change. Don't make your negative emotions wrong. Every emotion is a message for you. Use it, right? When you avoid it, it's just going to intensify, like being overwhelmed. It's not bad to be overwhelmed. I just believe you're making a choice to do it, right? It means that you don't have a priority. It means you need to reevaluate and think, what's really most important to me right now? You're expecting perfection in an imperfect world. That is overwhelm. And get curious, really, really curious when you face a life circumstance, and ask yourself every single question about, what could this really mean? Is this really shitty, or is it a gift that's teaching me something? What is it telling you? And this goes way beyond goal setting, guys. This goes into why we do what we do. Beachbody is not everything in your life. It's a vehicle you're using to hit specific needs. And you're going to screw up, but those delays are not denials unless you give up and become inconsistent. You don't control the events. If someone says no, if there's a return order, if a coach quits, if it rains, if it pours, if someone says something negative, you don't control the events, but you do control what they mean to you. That's yours and you own it. So decide what you want this to be about. What's your real purpose? An achievement or a goal is not your purpose. Financial freedom is not your purpose. Right? Those are goals that you can have on the path to fulfilling your purpose. For me, the purpose of my life is to be the happiest, most genuine, positive, uplifting person that I can possibly be on a day-to-day basis by deeply emotionally influencing other people, to be so incredibly happy and expand their unlimited quality of life and putting them in new environments that challenge them and being their bridge to becoming strong and courageous and powerful and living every single day full of passion. That's not something I can achieve as a Beachbody coach. That's something people will look at me at my funeral and say that I was all about. The majority of the results that you have in your life, guys, come from the action that you take. The action that you take it comes from the meaning you choose to associate with different situations. The activities that produce the results are known to you. And if you don't know them, Google them, or they're in your training academy. Right? The only thing that matters is what goes on up here. And if you master that, you really master goal setting. And all of a sudden, instead of doing what most people do, instead of shrinking their dreams down to the size of their income, you can be one of those very, very few people that takes life by the throat, gives it to other people, stops procrastinating, becomes grateful, focuses on what you want. Instead of shrinking your dreams to the size of your current business or income, you can build your income to the size of your dreams. And if you master that, you master goal setting, and you live an amazing, fulfilling life, and people give it back. So Kelsey, I want to turn it back to you. I got about 5 minutes before my team call, so I can do a couple of questions, but I got to hop off in about 5, so you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just sitting here like, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I have 2 pages full of notes, and it's funny because you think that you know this stuff, and then you just hear it again, and you're like, okay. It's like a slap in the face. And whenever you're talking about your expectations and stuff like that, whenever you had us close our eyes, that was a really emotional moment for me specifically, because hearing that, it's just it's such a difference. And I don't know, and I know that you guys probably felt that same way. It's such a difference to expect it. Does anybody, he has 3 or 4 minutes. Does anybody have any questions for him or any comments that they want to give him? Did you guys like that final big push for October there? I know he'd be the perfect one to finish off our month. Anybody have anything for him? We're getting lots of comments in the comment section. People are loving it.
Daily pep talk. I love that.
He's awesome. Anybody? Nothing? Okay. The Tony Robbins one, is that what you're talking about, Caitlin?
TonyRobbins.com/momentum. And at the bottom of the screen, there's bottom of the page, there's a 14-minute audio file.
Ashton says you should create your own podcast. I think you should too.
My own podcast? Interesting. How do I do that?
I play it on repeat. You're getting lots of comments. Well, if you guys don't have anything, I'm going to let Brad go, but I do want to tell you guys one more thing. So Brad, if you need to hop off, I understand. Anybody have anything? Well, Brad, thank you so much for coming on. So much. That was fantastic.
Thank you guys so much. I got to hop off here, but have an amazing evening. And if you guys ever need anything, please let me know. And thanks for having me, Kelsey. I really appreciate it.
That was incredible. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Guys, I just have one more thing and I'm letting you go, I promise. So would you guys like that? So I booked this entire month full of guest speakers for a reason, as I hope you guys realize, because I wanted you guys to finish this month inspired as hell. And I knew that he was the perfect finale to a month of guest speakers and inspiration. And I don't want to cloud anything that he has said. So I'm going to let you guys go. But you guys are back to me next week. I figured I should probably like touch base with my team since I haven't talked to you guys in a month. So it's back to me next week, and we'll be talking about a lot of different things coming up and all the exciting ways we're going to finish off the year. But I do want to make one quick announcement. Natalie and I, my coach Natalie and I, will be hosting a new call for coaches that are trying to get to Emerald. It's going to be on Sundays at 8 o'clock. This is just a way for us to connect with our downline. We work with our PS coaches all the time, and we figure this is a way for me and her and a couple of the other leaders to open it up and to get on there and share with you guys on how we hit Emerald, how it's easy to hit Emerald, and how, especially if you're very income driven, how that is the first step to launching your income potential in this business. So it's 2 people, but we're going to make it way more simple than that. And we're going to show you guys how to do it so that way you guys can get out of your own heads. But I'm pretty sure that if you listen to what Brad says tonight before Sunday, you guys should probably all be there anyway. So I'm going to let you guys hop off and just soak in what he said. Because I really feel like that's what you need. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed these past 4 weeks of guest speakers. I hope that you got to take in a lot of everything they said. And guys, I will see you guys next week, okay? Have a good rest of your night. Bye.